Hey guys, I am back, and this is unboxing of this box, take number 3, because of a sheer cacophony of my own dumbassery. I wish I had one of those Hollywood, things like, 3. So in case you're wondering what my sheer dumbassery was in this particular case, because we know I've got a lot of it, the first time I forgot to turn the microphone on. Is the microphone on? Oh God, yes it is. Okay. The first time I forgot to turn the microphone on, so I went through the entire video and did not record a single moment of sound. So that was great. So I packaged everything back up. I went to do it again, and I forgot to put the damn SD card back in the camera, after I uploaded all the files to the computer to do the editing, and was like super pissed off that I recorded 0 sound. That was great. So here we are. This video I wanted to have released on Monday, but it is what it is. But you know what's cool in the background, by the way? Some of you guys know that I have a secondary channel where I do models and stuff. Look, I just finished this really sweet tank. It's a prototype tank that never went into production. But anyway, so here on the workbench, we are, take 3. We are looking at Monthly Knife Club, the Onyx box for January 2019. And here's what's really awesome about this box. So I have conversed a lot with Darren, who owns, or I shouldn't say owns, but he's in charge of Monthly Knife Club. And I didn't order this box. Normally, I pay for just about all my subscriptions, all the stuff I get. Most of it, anyway. I do get some samples sometimes from different places. I have been, and I've told you guys, I've been cutting back lately on some stuff because just financial reasons. I don't have as much money as I used to throw around due to some family and some medical stuff. And, you guys have seen I've been doing less subscription box unboxings. When Darren, though, really has what he thinks is a really cool box, since I stopped being able to just pay every month, every once in a while he'll just send me the box if he thinks it's especially cool or whatever. Or especially if he thinks I will think it's especially cool. So he gave me this box. He just sent me, he didn't even let me know it was good. He just was like, hey, here's the box. You'll like it. Special thank you to Darren. And yeah, I've talked with him online. I've talked with him on the phone. He really has a passion for what he does here. And I've always liked Monthly Knife Club. I found it because it was recommended by a lot of viewers as a good high quality knife subscription. And it is. And they don't just have, I subscribe to the Onyx because the Onyx is a good way if you are looking to start or build up a knife collection, add to your collection with some high quality pieces, little by little. It's a great way to do that. There are some other subscriptions out there that if you don't have the money to spend and you want to add some budget pieces, and actually Monthly Knife Club has some more budget friendly options. I just really like their Onyx plan. But this is a great way to add some higher end, higher value stuff to your collection, or maybe just discover things you wouldn't have discovered otherwise in that higher range, higher price range, higher quality range. They have really included some great stuff in a lot of their boxes that I've really enjoyed unboxing. So I really am grateful that Darren wanted to include me in this month's, in January's. And by the way, I'm sorry that you guys lost the actual excitement in the straight unboxing, because while this Real Steel knife is one that I have actually seen before, Real Steel, before it was released, sent me this knife to check out and do a review on, and it is a great knife. I am so excited. This is a great box. So I'm going to include a link to Monthly Knife Club in the video description if you're interested in checking out all their different plans that they have. They have a sister company, USA Knife Club, which is cool because it includes all USA made products, if you're interested in that too. But for this month, for the Onyx plan, there's 2 different knives involved. One by ABKT, which has kind of a hit or miss kind of feel for me. This one's kind of cool. It's one I hadn't seen before. And the real star of the show here, though, is the Real Steel. And I think based on the reception of the original review video, and I will put a link to the original review video where, I reviewed this knife in a kind of earlier stage. Also in the video description, this is a great knife. And what's really awesome is when looking at this, some of the small things that I saw that could use improvement in the knife, and now looking at this, I feel like some of those improvements are there. This is a, little tiny tweaks here and there make this just even better than the one I looked at before. So another cool thing about Monthly Knife Club, and yeah, I'm going to get to the boxes in a second, they don't just give you like this MSRP to make you feel good about the money you're spending. They give you the price range for what you're going to find it. So, instead of just saying like, oh, this is this is MSRP $150 knife. No, they're going to say like, if you look online, you might find this knife for listed between this and this, like realistically. I have never felt like I didn't get my money's worth out of an Onyx box from Monthly Knife Club. Realistically, 100%. So let's get to looking, though, at what we have in the boxes. And the first is the Real Steel. I think this is like the main item in the box. The Real Steel Bushcraft Plus, and this is the Scandi grind, because they have a Scandi and they have a Survival. And the Survival, the only difference really is that there's a little bit of a weight difference, and the Scandi is obviously a Scandi grind, and the Survival is a full flat grind blade. So in the box you have, this comes with virtually every Real Steel knife, and it's just kind of like a fold out of some of their best sellers, I guess, and then there are different locking systems for folding knives, which really is cool but has nothing to do with the knife we're looking at now. You get the microfiber cloth, which is nice. Here's the knife itself. This little wrench key, which we're going to look at in a little bit, and then some product info on this knife. And the packaging with Real Steel is always cool. I like these boxes. So we'll put this to the side as well. Now there is a Real Steel Bushcraft knife, which actually I have one about to ship off to, making up for the giveaway prizes and stuff. I have one that is going to someone who actually was Mr. Reddit, who we had a big disagreement on, but we found some common ground and kind of made up. He won that. His is in the next batch going out. I wish I could compare it to this, but it's packaged up right now, so I can't. But here are specs on this knife. We'll talk about the steel, because some people don't necessarily like that steel. Okay, and here are the weights: the Scandi on the bottom and the Survival on the top. The full flat grind blade being just a little bit lighter because there's less steel on the blade. Okay. I guess it's dealer's choice. Which blade do you like best? I think a Scandi grind is great. I really like the Scandi grind. I like the feel of it. I like how it cuts. I also like a full flat grind blade in some situations, but for these purposes, I think it's just dealer's choice. I think it's purchaser's choice, really. But I love this knife, and we're going to talk about why. And we're going to start with the sheath, because the sheath is great. So looking at the sheath, it's a good mid-grade nylon. I don't mean mid-grade in terms of quality. I mean mid-grade in terms of weight. Not too heavy, not too soft. It's got a little bit of give to it, but it's a good quality nylon, but it's not too much. It's not too heavy. And so you've got your main belt loop here with some pretty firm Velcro closure to help you adjust to whatever. You can lash it on some other stuff for some extended vertical carry right there, or whatever you want to lash it onto. You can put it onto straps if, say, you want to put it onto a pack strap or whatever else, belt for horizontal carry. These also will let you fit through some standard 1-inch Molly type PALS webbing. And then these straps are removable, Velcro in, very tight Velcro in there. So they're removable if you want to just get rid of them. And if you do, then you can pass something through these areas as also a vertical carry option. So this gives you a lot of options in terms of how you're going to carry it, which is pretty cool. But there's more. If we take off this little cinchy guy and take this lace out, the Kydex insert comes right out of the sheath. So you have a lighter weight. I mean, not that this adds that much, but if you want the world's dangliest, bangliest nick knife, you can do that. What you also can do then is take some 550 cord or something, though, if you just want, and you can lash this to your gear without all of this. If you just want a slimmer option, if that's, you know, what you're looking for, you can do that. So lots of different carry options. The sheath also has this accessory pouch, which is a lot bigger. Some just give you that kind of just big enough to fit a sharpening stone. You can put sharpening gear in here. You could put fire starting gear in here. You could put a flashlight in there. It's got some weatherproofing on the inside. So lots of good options here, and well secured cinching down strap on this. So, you know, as fat as you want to fill this pouch, and then you can make it pretty much flat too if you want also. So that's why I really like the sheath that it comes with. When you're putting this back in, you do have to finagle just a little bit to make sure that those eyelets match up just right so that you can get this cord back through. Sometimes you have a little bit of a problem lining it up to make it an easy job of passing the cord, but usually it's not that big a deal. So if you don't put this cord in, there is really nothing that, I mean, the natural tension of putting the Kydex in holds it decent, but it's this cord that really holds the Kydex into the nylon and keeps it from going anywhere. So you don't, if you're using the insert and the nylon together, you don't want to, oh, that never happened before. I guess I've been messing with it a little bit too much, inserting it and taking it out. But that's not really a problem if we are just careful. There we go. And I will heat melt that later. Heat melt it as opposed to whatever, acid melt it. That's a stupid thing to say, sorry. But that keeps that Kydex in there pretty well and lets you get access to the knife. So now let's talk about the knife. Oh, retention in the Kydex is great, not going anywhere. The knife itself is a beauty fish. Great satin finish all the way around on this. We already discussed Scandi grind. You have a 90-degree spine for all of your fire starting needs. One of the things that I noticed when I did the original review on this knife, and that still is valid right now, is it is super comfortable to hold. It's got a nice big handle for the biggest hands out there, whether you're wearing gloves or just bare hands. Can you see the texturing on there? Now, I don't know if this is on purpose or just accidental from milling, but it's got a subtle texture that really grips your fingers. But the contouring on this is just about perfect. It feels perfect. Like, it is one of the most comfortable knives I've held. And they really did a good job. There are no hard edges on here. All of it really rounds nicely and just feels great. But you still get a great grip on the knife. This jimping works really well. Not too rough, but nice lock with just 2 fingers on that knife with great control. And nice thick piece of steel that this whole thing is based on. And you can see why the Scandi grind weighs a bit more than the full flat grind, because you got more steel up the spine for stability, strength, and durability overall. One of the things that I noticed with the original sample I got from Real Steel was that you have a removable scale, which is a cool thing to have for storage, and that's why you have this little wrench key here. On the original sample I got, this fit into both sides, and they have taken care of that. It only fits into one side now. Now, I just, for some reason, I assumed if it fit into both sides, you could remove both. But that's not true. These are what's the word I'm looking for? They have a cutout in them, right? So they've got a straight side and a round side. They don't move. They hold everything into the tang. These are screws that remove. So I originally tried to just put it in here and turned and turned and turned, and I twisted the ring up all kinds of crazy and got very frustrated, and Thought it was a Loctite issue, didn't even know what to do. But now it only fits in one side, so now you know it's this side that you have to unscrew, which makes your life so much easier. Minor thing, but definitely convenience thing. Now, if only I could make my fingers work and hold on to this easier as I'm unscrewing it, that would be super great. Another thing is the trimming on the holes that went into this scale, and this is what I'm talking about, where you have a flat side and a round side. It was a real fight to put these scales back on because it was all so tight, but they made everything fit perfectly now. Nice and easy. If you wanted to, you could take this out and you could maneuver both scales on and off for whatever reason. Not saying you would want to do that, but you could. So you've got a nice deep groove inside. Again, fire starting gear, tinder, fishing gear, emergency medication pocket, whatever it is that you want to hold inside there. And it all goes together nice and easy. If you want to carry this, great. But if you've got a multi-tool with, various bits that can fit on it, I can't remember exactly what size this is, but I tested it with Leatherman Signal and the stand. See, I can't hold on to this. The Leatherman Signal in the standard Leatherman bits has one that fits exactly, and I assume that most multi-tools that have, a standard bit kit would have this size. It's pretty common. So great features on the knife. Again, in that other video, I actually took it outside and I did some actual stuff outside, field work with it, but it is so sharp out of the package. I cannot feel it going through this paper. It just cuts so smooth, so finely. It's perfect. You could, going off on some adventure for the weekend or longer, but you could stop at a store, buy it, take it out of the box on the way, and your knife is good to go for whatever you have planned. No further work needed on that blade at all. It just cuts beautifully. Love it. Certainly more expensive than a Mora, but the beauty of the knife, the weight, the feel, everything on this is perfect, and I think it's a great blade length for all the work you have to do. Now, there are going to be some people that are going to say they don't like the 14 C28 and blade, the Sandvik stainless steel. I think it's a great balance of edge retention, corrosion resistance, durability. It's a really good stainless steel. It's not great. It's not a super steel. It's not, M390, of course, but for the price you're paying for the knife, it's a really good steel. It is a steel that Mora uses all the time, and a lot of companies use it. Real Steel uses it quite often. It's a balanced steel. It's not a great super steel. It's a really well-balanced steel, is why they use it. It's not going to hold an edge as long as like a really hard carbon steel, but you also are going to pick up a good bit of corrosion resistance from that carbon steel. It's not going to be as tough as something like, 20 CV or M390, but you're also not paying a huge premium price. It's a really well-balanced steel in a package that feels good, that performs well. And what I owe you guys is another video where I do some more hard use testing on this knife that I just never got around to doing. But I think that I'm happy to pay the price that they want for this knife. I think that for the price of this subscription, this is a great choice. This is a great field knife. I think it will perform well in just about any condition. And once again, last time I'll say it, check out that video that I'll put the link in the video description where I actually take the knife out and put it through some paces outside. And I will do a follow-up. I'll definitely get to a follow-up where I do like some real hard use, some more hard use stuff with this knife, and really test it out a little bit more. But in the meantime, I'm going to take this little key and I'm going to put it in this pouch. And so this definitely would go, this would be in a bigger unboxing, and I like it item. Definitely an I like it item. Real Steel knows how to make a good knife, and this is a great design. So put that off to the side. Now, the ABKT, American Buffalo Knife and Tool, what is this guy called? The Maverick Damascus. So we're going to enter into the discussion again about real Damascus, fake Damascus. And I think that what a lot of people are really talking about, yes, there is fake Damascus out there that is just printed or etched in, as opposed to a real multi-layer steel pattern. But a lot of people, when they talk about fake Damascus versus real Damascus in a knife like this, what they're really talking about is a handmade Damascus billet versus production Damascus steel. Now, if we're talking about Wootz steel, the actual, 1,000-year-old Damascus formula, nobody knows how to make that. That is literally not made on this planet anymore. So compared to that, every Damascus is fake Damascus. But if we're talking about the process of taking two different steels, layering them together, folding it, heating it, folding it, heating it, welding through compression, and over and over and over, then this is actual Damascus. There is a way to do it by hand, which of course is much more expensive, much higher quality, and honestly a much nicer finish, and a much stronger steel. But there's also a way to do it for production by machines, which produces actual, by definition, Damascus steel in terms of two dissimilar steels folded and forge welded and stuff. But this is a very nice billet of steel. It is probably production Damascus, not obviously handmade Damascus. I'm sorry for the shadow from the camera. This is a production Damascus blade. You can feel what you can feel to kind of tell you it's real is that you don't feel exaggerated raised lines when you feel the pattern. That would be one of those printed on Damascus, but you can feel the difference in the almost the acid wash texture of the carbon steel and the smoothness of what is probably a nickel-based steel, a nickel stainless steel for the shiny part. And you can feel that difference as you move your finger. You can also see the different striations going all around this steel billet. So I want to get that out of the way before we start arguing about it. So I'm going to have to look up actual, measurements and stuff for this to give it to you. It has stainless steel lock and scale side, no liners. Honestly, it has the feel and the look of kind of a cheaper knife, just because of how it's made. However, it is obviously it's a nice blade. It's a very nice blade. Just looking at the construction of it and looking at the different layers. I don't know if you can see it on camera. I don't know if my camera will focus. If I look closely, can you see? You can see the large carbon layer in there, but if you look really closely, you can see tiny little layer striations all alongside of it, which is really nice. It's very smooth. It's on bearings, so it's a little small though. And this lip on the clip there makes it a little hard for me to work with my hands being the size they are. But it also prevents me from pushing on the lock bar, which is good. Light switch, push button. Still awkward. I'd like to not have that clip lip shoot up so much, because it keeps my finger from going where it wants to go when I'm holding it. But nice and smooth with those bearings. I want to do something here. Very nice and smooth with the bearings there. If we just kind of break the detent a little bit. Oh, it opened instead of Like, yeah. Good centering. Oh, there we go. Perfect centering. You know, I've done this lock test twice now in 2 different videos, but and it still has great lockup. Hasn't moved. Still no stickiness. Still have nice smooth action. Still has this very good lockup. And the centering on this guy is still perfect. So yay, knife. It is not as smooth as the real steel, but it cuts very well. There's a little, can you guys see that? Do you see that little, the change in the reflectiveness? There's a little burr right there, and you can sort of feel it in the cut. And this is cutting really well even with that burr, which is a good credit to the blade and the finishing. But I can feel just that little burr when I get right to there. But it doesn't shred the paper. Notice that point where I stopped? That's because I can feel that burr. It still cuts very sharply though. It's done really, really well. So I tend to think that this is a one-off problem. I'm not happy that it's there, but it is a credit to how well the blade is made that even with a little burr there, it still cuts very evenly, very cleanly. Great pull through. And let's give it a slice. And actually, it doesn't even, there we go. It doesn't even get to the burr part before it does a very clean slice. Just right through it. When I got it, it had a significant amount of oil covering the blade, and that's probably to protect all the carbon elements inside the Damascus. So it is relatively light. You know, if I had any complaint about this thing, it would probably be that being so small, it is a great size for EDC. It's just a little difficult with my hand size, large hands. It kind of disappears right into your hand. Doesn't give a lot of grip. This jimping up here is great. Really, really gives you a good handhold on it, but it does kind of, my hands disappear off the end of the knife. But it is a really nice piece. I mean, you know, all this this brushed steel, great canvas for customizing. Really make it your own through a lot of different techniques. But I talks good sometimes. Sorry there. ABKT, like I said before, I've seen a few things from them, and they have been, it's a hit or miss kind of brand for me. But this is, I mean, just the blade makes it a pretty nice looking piece. Would like to see something else done with the handles, but it is pretty good overall. This would be, you know, in a larger unboxing, would sit firmly between the meh and the like it. I'm not sure how I feel. Definitely a nice piece. I think there's probably people that would appreciate it more than me, though, so this is probably the kind of thing that I would be happy to put in a giveaway, though, not because it's a bad item, but something that I know there's viewers out there that would just get a lot more appreciation for it than I would. But still, to round out this box, though, makes the value of the box, obviously, again, the price of the subscription more than pays for itself between these two knives in the box, you know, so awesome. So between the two of these, it's another great month. I have always loved what comes in Monthly Knife Club. There's been, like, I think, you know, to be fair, 1 or 2 knives that I was on the fence about, like, not a big fan, but always something either new that I haven't seen, useful, or just really nice pieces to add to the collection. Usually I'm very excited about what they throw in the box. So now, what do you guys think? Who, number one, agrees with me on the look and feel of this one? based on its construction. Who disagrees with me? Who thinks I'm out of my mind and thinks it's just a beautiful knife and would love to have it? You know? And this guy, awesome knife. Love this knife. I've loved it since I first saw it. I love it just as much. You know, when I opened the box, I'm so upset that you couldn't see the original video. When I opened the box, I was just as much of a kid opening a present on Christmas morning as I was the first time I saw it. It's a great, phenomenal knife. So I really do. I recommend the monthly knife club stuff to people all the time when they say, I have money for one subscription and I'm just looking for knives. You know, I'm not looking for anything else. What should I get? And I say, well, if you're looking for good quality stuff, monthly knife club is the way to go. But I do value your opinions. What do you guys think of this month? What do you think? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Anybody a fan of monthly knife club, or have you been disappointed by monthly knife club? You know, I know that Darren appreciates like real feedback. So please share all of your honest opinions here. You know. All right, guys. Hopefully this is the one. Third time is the charm, right? If this doesn't come out, I'm probably gonna go in the backyard and shoot something and then blow something up. But if you're watching this video, that didn't happen because it worked. So I'm crossing my fingers, and hopefully you guys are enjoying a good video this time. Happy thoughts, good vibes, and remember, you are all absolutely awesome. I appreciate every single one of you, and I will be back again real soon.